In today's modern world, filled with connections and busyness, the concept of living alone often evokes feelings of fear, loneliness, and insecurity. However, when we look deeper into Buddhist teachings, we realize that living alone is not a negative experience, but rather an incredible path to inner peace and self-development. Buddhism teaches that true peace and happiness do not come from the external world, but from within our own minds. When we live alone, we have a wonderful opportunity to return to ourselves, eliminate the distractions of the outside world, and gain a clearer understanding of what truly matters in life. Part 1. Why is solitude scary? Before embarking on the journey of living alone, many of us feel frightened by the idea of solitude. This is not surprising, as we are often taught that loneliness is something bad, and most people seek connections with others to feel loved and secure. However, solitude can be a precious opportunity to gain deeper insight into ourselves. The fear of being alone often arises from an inability to face our own emotions and thoughts. When there are no distractions from the outside world, we begin to become aware of deep and sometimes uncomfortable feelings within us. This is when the truth about ourselves can surface, feelings of insecurity, fear, or unresolved issues from the past. However, through mindfulness and meditation practices in Buddhism, we can learn to face and accept these emotions, rather than avoid them. Part 2. The quietude of living alone, an opportunity for growth. When living alone, we can find peace in the quiet moments. It is a time to explore deep thoughts, to practice meditation, and to connect with our inner self. Buddhism teaches that quietude is not something to fear, but rather a wonderful opportunity to free ourselves from the distractions of the material world. I remember when I first started living alone, I felt quite uncomfortable with the silence around me. There were no familiar conversations or laughter from friends. But over time, I realized that this was an opportunity to listen to my inner voice, to understand more clearly what I truly wanted and needed. Meditation became one of the best ways to confront and embrace these emotions, helping my mind become clearer and more peaceful. Part 3. Buddhism and the art of living alone. In Buddhism, living alone is not about isolation, but rather an opportunity to develop spiritual freedom and independence. Buddhist monks often live in remote monasteries, far from the outside world, seeking peace and wisdom. While they do not live in solitude in a social sense, they seek quietude and independence to practice meditation and attain enlightenment. In our daily lives, we can learn a lot from these teachings. Living alone is an opportunity to develop independence and self-reliance in thoughts and actions. This helps us discover our true goals and values in life, rather than being swept up by the relationships and social conditions around us. Part 4. Facing loneliness, walking alone on the path to enlightenment. Loneliness is an inevitable part of the journey of living alone. However, rather than avoiding or denying it, we can learn to face it and find peace even in these moments. Buddhism teaches that all emotions, whether happy or sad, are temporary phenomena, and they will pass if we do not cling to them. For a long time, I learned to sit with myself during these moments of loneliness, not seeking entertainment or trying to escape the feeling. Instead, I focused on my breath, on the sensations in my body, and allowed my mind to become still. This helped me realize that loneliness is just a part of life, and it is not something to fear. When we no longer fear loneliness, we can find true freedom. Part 5. Embracing solitude as a path to self-discovery. In Buddhism, the journey towards self-realization is deeply intertwined with the experience of solitude. Solitude offers the chance to detach from the constant demands of the world and tune into the inner workings of our mind. This process of self-discovery is not always easy, but it is essential for growth and spiritual maturity. When we are constantly surrounded by others, we often become influenced by their opinions, desires, and expectations. Our actions and thoughts may be shaped by external factors, leaving us disconnected from our true selves. Living alone allows us the freedom to peel away these layers, revealing our authentic self without the distractions and pressures that society often imposes. One of the key Buddhist practices that can support this journey is mindfulness. By cultivating mindfulness, we can be fully present in each moment, without judgment or attachment. This helps us observe our thoughts, emotions, and reactions without being overwhelmed by them. Over time, we develop a deeper understanding of our habitual patterns and can begin to break free from the limitations they impose. Part 6: The Power of Silence in Living Alone. Silence is one of the greatest gifts that solitude offers. In our busy lives, we are often bombarded with noise, both external and internal. The constant chatter of our minds, the distractions of technology, and the demands of our social lives can prevent us from truly hearing ourselves. In the quietude of living alone, we have the space to listen to the subtle whispers of our inner wisdom. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting the state of our mind. It is through silence that we can begin to hear the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface of our thoughts. Buddhism encourages us to embrace silence, not as an absence, but as a presence of peace and clarity. The Buddha himself often withdrew into solitude to meditate in silence, seeking enlightenment away from the distractions of the world. Similarly, when we embrace silence, we create an environment where our minds can settle and find clarity, allowing us to make decisions from a place of wisdom and compassion rather than from impulsive reactions. Part 7: The Importance of Self-Compassion in Solitude. Living alone can sometimes bring up feelings of vulnerability and self-doubt. In these moments, it is crucial to practice self-compassion, to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend. Buddhism teaches that all beings, including ourselves, deserve love and compassion. By learning to cultivate self-compassion, we can navigate the challenges of solitude with greater ease. Rather than criticizing ourselves for our perceived flaws or shortcomings, we can offer ourselves gentleness and acceptance, recognizing that these feelings are part of the human experience. Self-compassion is particularly important in moments of loneliness or discomfort. Instead of succumbing to negative self-talk or feelings of inadequacy, we can remind ourselves that loneliness is a passing emotion, not a permanent state. By offering ourselves compassion, we create space for healing and growth, allowing us to fully embrace the lessons that solitude has to offer. Part 8: Buddhist Practices to Enhance the Experience of Living Alone. While living alone can be a powerful and transformative experience, it can also present challenges. In these moments, Buddhist practices can provide the support we need to navigate the difficulties that arise. Here are a few practices to enhance the experience of living alone. 1. Meditation. Meditation is the cornerstone of Buddhist practice and can be incredibly beneficial when living alone. By setting aside time each day to meditate, we create a peaceful and grounding space for our minds. Meditation allows us to observe our thoughts without judgment, leading to greater clarity and insight. 2. Mindful breathing. When we feel overwhelmed by emotions or thoughts, mindful breathing can help us center ourselves. By focusing on the breath, we bring ourselves back to the present moment, calming our nervous system and creating space for mindfulness. 3. Self-inquiry. In moments of solitude, it can be helpful to ask ourselves reflective questions such as, "What am I truly seeking?" or "What do I want to cultivate in my life?" These questions help us uncover our deepest desires and intentions, guiding us towards a life of greater meaning and fulfillment. 4. Gratitude practice. cultivating a sense of gratitude can transform our experience of living alone. By focusing on the blessings in our lives, we shift our attention away from what we lack and instead celebrate what we have. This practice fosters a sense of abundance and contentment, even in times of solitude. 5. Engage with nature. Nature has a special way of calming the mind and reconnecting us to the present moment. Whether it's a walk in the park, sitting by a river, or simply observing the beauty around us, spending time in nature can help us feel more connected and at peace. Part 9. Overcoming the fear of living alone. For many, the fear of living alone is rooted in the anxiety of being disconnected from others or not having support during difficult times. While these concerns are natural, Buddhism offers valuable insights to help us overcome these fears. Buddhism teaches that we are never truly alone. We are all interconnected, and there is an underlying unity that connects all beings. By practicing loving kindness and compassion, we can open ourselves to the vast network of love and support that exists in the world. Furthermore, the fear of being alone often arises from an attachment to external sources of comfort and security. Buddhism encourages us to let go of these attachments and trust in our own inner strength. By developing a sense of self-reliance and cultivating inner peace, we can face any challenges that arise, knowing that we have the resources within ourselves to overcome them. Part 10. The wisdom of letting go, releasing attachments in solitude. Solitude is an opportunity to release the attachments that bind us to the external world. Whether it's attachment to relationships, material possessions, or even our own identities, these attachments create a sense of dependency and suffering. Buddhism teaches the importance of letting go. By releasing attachments, we free ourselves from the cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. In solitude, we are presented with the opportunity to practice non-attachment, not as a way of rejecting the world, but as a way of finding true freedom. Through mindfulness and meditation, we learn to observe our attachments without becoming entangled in them. We begin to recognize that all things are impermanent, and that clinging to them only creates suffering. By letting go, we create space for new experiences and deeper wisdom to emerge. Conclusion: embracing the journey of solitude with wisdom and compassion. Living alone is not merely about physical isolation, it is an invitation to explore the depths of our inner world. In the Buddhist tradition, solitude is a powerful tool for self-realization, providing the space for reflection, mindfulness, and inner transformation. By embracing solitude with a compassionate and mindful attitude, we can cultivate a life of peace, wisdom, and fulfillment. Through the practice of meditation, mindfulness, and self-compassion, we come to understand that our true happiness does not depend on external circumstances, but rather on the state of our minds and hearts. Solitude offers us the opportunity to detach from the noise and distractions of the world, allowing us to connect more deeply with our own inner wisdom and the interconnectedness of all beings. As we navigate the challenges and joys of living alone, we are reminded of the impermanent nature of life. All experiences, whether moments of joy or sorrow, are fleeting. By letting go of attachments and embracing the present moment, we can find peace and clarity in the face of life's uncertainties. In the end, the path of solitude is not one of loneliness, but of self-discovery and growth. It is an invitation to cultivate the qualities of patience, resilience, and wisdom. By living alone, we create the space to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, ultimately leading us to a place of greater harmony, compassion, and inner peace. May we all have the courage to embrace solitude as a means of transformation, and may we continue to walk the path with mindfulness and compassion, knowing that the journey itself is the destination.